In this video, you'll discover what makes a great base for your miniatures, the most common mistakes to avoid, and 5 tips that will transform your bases from looking boring to miniature masterpieces. But first, let me show you what not to do. So this right here is the first ever display plinth I've ever used. If you've never seen a plinth before, it's a base for display purposes, but not for gaming. So what exactly is wrong here? Well, the size is too big, there is not much going on, and overall it creates quite a dull result. And some of this could be avoided if the base was smaller. Picking the right size of the base is perhaps the most important decision, because it affects everything else. If the base is too small, it can feel too crowded, and there isn't much you can show. But if the base is too big, it can feel hollow, unless you fill it with something interesting. As you'll see, the original gaming bases can absolutely work, even for display models, but we'll get to that later. This point is not only about the size, however, it's also about the shape. Which is also true when it comes to your penis! For the most part, you have round and square plinths. Round plinths are great for minis, which you wanna showcase from all angles. However, if there is a particular angle that you wanna showcase, using a square plinth is a good idea. Square plinth was necessary for Parion, because of the little nameplate. Perhaps you could do that with a round plinth as well, but it's a pain in the ass. However, if you wanna fix a particular angle on a round plinth, you can do that by including a small symbol which is centered at a golden angle. This right here is a perfect example of that. Another base type is a backdrop plinth. These are great if you have a specific idea. For example, I wanted to show vibes and OSL on Morrigan, and also set the environment of the city on the Corona Girl. Now, for my Elementalist, I wanted to use a round plinth first, but because of the Toad familiar, it didn't fit. This worked out in my favor though, because I got this nice composition, which looks the best from this exact angle. Now, just real quick, recently I started a newsletter for people who wanna push their miniatures to the next level. I share extra tips and deep dives that don't always make it into a video. So if you wanna push your minis to the next level, sign up for free, there is a link in the description. Just a second ago, I mentioned another keyword, which is the next point: composition. You can do a lot with composition and the overall arrangement, but let's start with something simple and obvious. Sometimes what I see is that people put stuff in front of the miniature and obscure it. So the number one thing is to make the miniature the star of the show, make it stand out, and don't put stuff in front of it, whether it's big rocks or grass tufts. Now that's pretty basic and obvious, so let's go a little further on this base. The original model features only the Elementalist himself and this Toad, without any other familiars, which is a bit of a problem. If I only put the Toad on the left, that would be weird and visually unbalanced, like all the visual weight would be put on the left side. I could also put the Toad in the front, but it would either obscure the model, or the base would have to be much taller. So my idea was to include more familiars on the other side instead. And that way I bring back balance to the force, and I get to paint a cute hedgehog as well. Look at this guy, I just love him so much. Notice that I elevated the back of the base with cork. That way I can make sure that every important part of the Elementalist is visible. The terrain also extends beyond the base boundaries, which makes it feel more natural. And before committing to glue everything on, dry fitting every piece gives you a better idea whether it works or not. And in the final result, you can see that nothing important is obscured. Including the other 2 familiars achieved another thing aside from visual balance. The front of the base forms a triangle in a way, where the familiars are at the bottom and the most saturated part, which is the gem, is at the top. And this triangular formation makes the viewer's eye go towards the top. By the way, have you noticed how the branches on the sides kinda point towards the Elementalist like arrows? This is no coincidence. From the very start, as I was constructing the base, everything was supposed to make the Elementalist stand out. I even used a little skull that has this plant growing through it, and it also kinda points towards the Elementalist. But trust me, your composition doesn't really have to be this complex. as long as you make the model stand out. Now, I mentioned this skull with a plant growing through as one of the elements. Aside from that, I used various bits from other GW minis that fit within Old World. On top of that, I used variety of other materials, and all of this was used to have variety. But why is variety important? For the most part, there are two reasons. So there is something interesting to look at, and something that I call definition differential. Okay, geez, that makes it sound complicated as fuck. But it'll make sense, trust me. For this miniature, I used like 5 different boxes outside of the Elementalist himself, because I really needed certain bits. This includes Daughters of Khaine Underworld's warband for a skull, Bloodbow Gnomes for another skull and this hedgehog, the Dryads for the owl and branches, Sylvaneth Warcry warband for some more branches, and Sylvaneth Wildwood for even more freaking branches! Oh, and actually, this route is from Cities of Sigmar Free Guild Cavalier Marshal. And if you think that's insane, you're probably right, but listen, I love the result. I am not saying that you should buy boxes for this purpose, because that's legit wild, but it's a good idea to have some leftover bits stored somewhere. That way, you can have something interesting to look at. Just compare the Elementalist with the aforementioned Creek Sergeant. Some more tools to create variety are texture paste, grass tufts, moss pads, plants of all kinds, dry pigment, and that's without mentioning all the 3D printed stuff you can use. I heard one painter say that bases are like salad. The more ingredients you include, the better the salad. And to a certain extent, I agree. Including variety of elements also helps you connect the miniature with the base. Sometimes we might get the impression like the miniature is disconnected from the environment, and that's especially true in this case. It's like you're looking at a miniature in 4K resolution while the base is in 240p. To avoid the same impression, the texture variety allows us to paint more details, and therefore we increase the base definition. However, it can get to a point where it's too overwhelming. If the base is too crowded or the colors are all over the place, it might be distracting. So variety is good for sure, but it shouldn't turn into an absolute chaos. Now, I don't want to create the impression that basing has to be grandiose or too complicated. Not at all. Basing can be very simple, as long as it fulfills the role of being the supporting cast and it enhances the miniature. It's all good. For example, on the Kingdom Death Lucy, I used the original base that came in the box, and it's more than enough to depict that particular light situation. You can clearly see that the environment is in line with the model, and that's all that matters in this case. Still, the other principles apply, so the size is appropriate, and there is still something interesting to look at. To reinforce the main viewing angle, I also used white tack to attach it to this square plinth, which is pretty standard. Or in this case, where I painted Erza of Deadheim, I specifically included 3D printed pumpkins, because this is a Halloween themed model, if you couldn't tell from the site. But even without Halloween in mind, it just fits very nicely. The light situation is the same, the put out candles make the lit one stand out more, and it just gives you that spooky vibe. On the other hand, if you wanna portray something creative or tell a story, you can include just a few interesting elements, and it'll work anyway. For this Rocket Executive Parion, I included a few Pokemon and a Pokeball on the ground. The rest was already part of the model. And just like that, it's super clear that she is in the world of Pokemon. As for the rest of the base, it's just f***ing grass, hit it! So even a very simple base can absolutely work. And when it comes to this miniature, I just made the first part of the tutorial series for her absolutely free on Patreon. So if you're interested in painting skin tones like this, check the link in the description. In one of my other videos, I mentioned that for this Elementalist, I used 2 different colors in 70-30 ratio. This is a great and simple way to create an easy color scheme, but what I didn't tell you is that the final piece is gonna be in the secondary color triad. So purple, orange, and green. And that's the great thing about bases. If you're missing some colors or you want the model to stand out even more, use colors that complement it. Speaking of colors on bases, the rim of the base should be black. At least that's what I like. And you do know what this technique is called, right? It's called rimming. And you should definitely Google that so you don't make any mistakes. Trust me on this one. But anyway, aside from painting the base so the miniature stands out, you should paint it in a way that makes it harmonious. That means that every element should feel like it belongs there. You see, when we go back to the point about variety, if it's too overwhelming, it might seem distracting, and maybe some elements might feel out of place. But if you still include a wide variety of materials and then paint them in a similar color palette, it'll all work together. It's exactly the reason why I always paint everything on the base, even the grass tufts or the moss pads. Just a little dry brush on top will do it. Now that's for the basing, but if you wanna push your miniature to the next level, watch this video next because it'll help you with that. And see you there!